So picture this. You have just cooked up something amazing. The flavors are singing, the aroma is filling the whole house, and you're standing there with a plate in your hand ready to serve. But then, you just dump the food in a heap, and suddenly it looks like something you ordered from a truck stop at 3 a.m. We've all been there. The truth is, no matter how delicious food is, people eat with their eyes first. Presentation is everything. That's where food plating comes in. Plating is not just for Michelin star chefs with tweezers and edible gold flakes. It's a skill anyone can learn, whether you're cooking for a date, for family, or for yourself on a Tuesday night, when you want to feel just a little fancy. Today we're diving into the wonderful, sometimes dramatic, and always creative world of food plating techniques. The first thing to know, plating is about balance. And I don't mean balance like standing on one leg in yoga class. Balance on a plate means color, texture, height, and portion sizes, all working together like a team. You wouldn't want all your food to be mushy, beige, and piled dead center like a sad little island. Instead, think of your plate as a canvas. Every ingredient is a brushstroke, and your job is to create art that happens to be edible. Now let's talk color. Food is like fashion. Colors matter. A bright red tomato next to fresh green basil? Gorgeous. A golden crusty bread beside creamy white soup? That's an invitation. But beige chicken next to beige potatoes with beige gravy? That's a crime against dinner. So mix it up. Play with contrasts. Even a sprinkle of chopped parsley or a dusting of paprika can transform a dull plate into something lively. Texture's another star player. Soft mashed potatoes? Great. Soft peas? Fine. Soft fish? Sure. But put them all together and it's like chewing a cloud. You need crunch, crispness, chewiness, something to break the monotony. That's why chefs throw crispy shallots or toasted nuts on top of a dish. It's not just for flavor, it's for the eyes and the bite. Let's move to height. Flat food looks sad. Think about a stack of pancakes, high, proud, golden. Now imagine just one lonely pancake lying flat. Not as exciting, right? Building height creates drama. Stack your veggies, lean your protein against your starch, or layer elements to create depth. Just don't go skyscraper tall unless you want it collapsing mid-dinner like a badly built Jenga tower. And oh, the sauce game. So many people either drown their food in sauce or just plop a blob on the side. But sauce is your paintbrush. Use it to sweep, drizzle, or dot the plate. A swipe of sauce under a piece of meat, or delicate dots around the plate, suddenly you are Picasso in the kitchen. Don't underestimate the power of negative space either. White space on a plate is like silence in music. It makes everything else stand out. Ever see those tiny portions at fine dining restaurants where the food takes up 1/3 of the plate? That's intentional. It forces your eye to focus and makes each bite feel important. Here's a pro hack, the clock method. Picture your plate like a clock face. Protein goes at 6 o'clock, starch between 9 and 12, and vegetables from 12 to 3. Simple, structured, and visually balanced. But remember, rules are just a starting point. Once you understand them, you can bend them. Maybe you go asymmetrical. Maybe you plate diagonally. Maybe you pile everything on one side for a bold modern look. Creativity is the heart of plating. And plating isn't just about how it looks, it is about respect. Respect for the ingredients, for the eater, and for the story you're telling with your food. Every plate is a little performance, and the diner is your audience. Now, let's really dig into the details and go beyond the basics. Because plating isn't just putting food on a plate nicely. It's psychology, culture, and even a little magic. Let's start with symmetry versus asymmetry. Symmetry feels neat and organized. Perfect circles of sauce, evenly spaced veggies. It looks professional, safe, reliable. but sometimes symmetry can feel boring. That's where asymmetry comes in. Place elements off-center. Let something spill over the edge. Create movement. Asymmetry feels dynamic, like the food is in motion. Both approaches have their place: symmetry for elegance, asymmetry for excitement. And then there's cultural style. French plating is all about refinement and elegance. Sauces carefully brushed, proteins neatly sliced, everything in harmony. Japanese plating, on the other hand, celebrates minimalism and seasonality, tiny, thoughtful portions arranged with respect for nature. Italian plating often feels abundant and rustic, food spilling joyfully onto the plate, almost like it can't be contained. Understanding these styles gives you more tools for your own plating language. Let's get practical. Ever thought of using a cookie cutter as a mold for rice or mashed potatoes? Suddenly, you've got a perfect circle or heart-shaped portion instead of a sloppy mound. Or take a spoon, drag it across the plate with sauce, and boom, you're a modern artist. These little tricks are how chefs make ordinary food look extraordinary. And let's not forget dessert plating. Desserts are the grand finale, so plating them is like fireworks. A brownie on a plate? Boring. A brownie dusted with powdered sugar, paired with a swirl of caramel, a dollop of whipped cream, and a few raspberries? Suddenly it's Instagram gold. Even the simplest dessert can shine with a little plating love. Now, let's talk about garnishes. Garnishes should never just be random. A sprig of parsley that doesn't match the dish? Nope. Garnishes should either add flavor, add texture, or reinforce the theme. A lemon wedge with fish makes sense. Edible flowers on a spring salad? Beautiful and seasonal. Microgreens on everything. Okay, chefs do that too, but make sure they are fresh and not just an afterthought. One of my favorite hacks is plating for theme or story. Imagine you're making a romantic dinner. Soft lighting, a plate where the sauce is shaped like a heart. Strawberries for color, it tells a story of love. Or maybe it's a kid's meal. Arrange veggies into a smiley face. Suddenly, broccoli isn't the enemy. It's part of the fun. Plating can create moods, emotions, and experiences beyond taste. Now, let's have some fun with plating fails. Because yes, we've all tried to drizzle sauce and ended up with what looks like a ketchup crime scene. Or tried to stack food only to watch it collapse mid-Instagram photo. Failures are part of learning. But here's the key. Don't overdo it. Plating should highlight the food, not distract from it. If your plate looks like a Jackson Pollock painting, maybe dial it back. Another thing, the science of appetite. Did you know colors affect hunger? Red and yellow stimulate appetite. That's why fast food logos use them. Green feels fresh and healthy. Blue? It actually suppresses appetite because not many natural foods are blue. So think about color psychology when plating. A bright, warm-colored plate will literally make people hungrier. And speaking of science, portion size matters. Ever notice how small portions on big plates make you feel like you're in a fancy restaurant? It's partly psychology. A large plate with lots of negative space makes the food seem precious and important. A small plate piled high makes it feel abundant and comforting. Choose your plate size and shape carefully because it changes the story. Let's not forget social media plating. The overhead flat lay shot. That is why symmetry works so well on Instagram. The side angle shot? That's when you want height and layers. Even if you're not chasing likes, thinking about camera angles can improve your plating. Finally, plating is practice. Don't expect perfection the first time. Play with your food. Use cheap ingredients to practice shapes and drizzles. Make mistakes. Laugh at them. Over time, your hands will learn the motions, and your creativity will flow naturally. All right, let's close strong with some advanced plating inspiration and a little humor. Want to impress with almost no effort? Plate instant noodles like a fine dining dish. Drain the broth, twirl the noodles neatly with a fork. Place them in the center, add a soft-boiled egg on top, sprinkle sesame seeds and scallions, and drizzle a little soy sauce around the edge. Boom. Instant noodles, Michelin style. Or let's say you have only got leftovers. Take that chili, spoon it into a ring mold, or a clean jar lid if you don't own one. Top it with sour cream in a swirl. Sprinkle shredded cheese in a circle, and add a few tortilla chips, standing upright like sails. Suddenly, yesterday's dinner looks like a chef's special. Plating can even use all your senses. Add herbs, not just for looks, but for aroma. The smell hits before the bite. Play with textures visually. Glossy sauces, crunchy toppings, fluffy foams. Even sound matters. Crispy elements that crunch when you cut them add drama to the experience. And don't think plating is always serious. Have fun. Make a landscape plate, where mashed potatoes are the mountain, peas are the forest, and a little stream of gravy runs through. Or a galaxy plate, with swirls of blueberry and raspberry coulis, stars of powdered sugar, and dark chocolate planets. Food is joy, and plating should celebrate that. At the end of the day, plating is storytelling. You're saying, this meal is worth your attention. You don't need fancy tools or ingredients. You need intention, creativity, and the willingness to see food as more than just fuel. So next time you cook, don't just serve plate. Whether it's a romantic dinner, a weeknight pasta, or even a PB&J, give it the stage it deserves. Because when food looks good, it feels good. And when it feels good, people remember it long after the last bite. And that, my friends, is the art of plating.